Are your emails making it into your audience's inbox? That's a question most female coaches are trying to figure out right now. Because if you didn't know, last year, all of the email providers, Yahoo, Google, you name it, decided to get together and make some changes around whether your actual email is going to make it into your customer's inbox. So let's talk about that. So, email deliverability. That is the name of the game right now. When it comes to email marketing, the number one thing you need to make sure is actually happening is deliverability. But there are some nuances to all of that. And what I mean by that is you probably aren't even aware of the fact that these three things impact your deliverability. And if I'm being honest, I also experienced this same realization once I learned this. So I'm here to share with you what those three things are so that you can stop doing them and start figuring out if your deliverability even is being impacted. Are you ready? Let's go. So, number one, the number one thing that will harm your deliverability is the welcome sequence that you send to your brand new subscribers. If you have too many links in that very first email that they get after their free gift has been delivered, then that can land you straight into the promotion tab, or even worse, into the spam filter, and even worse, not even reach your person at all. Because here's the thing: Yahoo, Google, Outlook are now deciding whether your email has any value to the person on the other end. So they can actually stop it before it even gets into their inbox. So they may never see it. So we want to make sure that we're doing everything we can to increase the chances of our emails being delivered. So, number one, what I want you to do is in this moment, right now, go and have a look at the very first email in your welcome sequence and see how many links you have. If you have more than three, remove them. We do not need to bombard our brand new people with a ton of links. Now, you can actually go through and use an app called Glock Apps that will check where that email is going. So you'll find a link to that in the description. Glock Apps, it's free for the first 2 times that you use it, then you'll have to pay for it. But I definitely recommend that you use this to check where your email is actually landing when it gets sent. They have a really quick walkthrough of what you need to do. So definitely go and check that. If you haven't checked on whether your emails are actually making it into people's inboxes, I definitely recommend that you do that. So here's why you want to do this. I recently changed my welcome email, and in it had 31 links. I know, slightly crazy when I share that information. But I was following the normal information, right? The normal recommendations around. Make sure that you give them access to all the things. They don't have to go and look for them. You're presenting them with everything. And I really liked that, idea of, yeah, let's make it really simple for someone to go and find the thing that they need immediately once they come into your world. But here's the problem with that: 31 links is a massive red flag to platforms like Outlook. Now, if you have a number of people on your email list who use Outlook personally, or are using their business email address, which is typically run through an Outlook server, that is going to never make it into their inbox. So when you use the Glock app, it is going to basically show you all of this. You're going to run the spam filter to see what your email is actually doing when it gets sent. So highly recommend that you do that. So that's number one. You want to stop including all the links. Three is enough. Which leads me to the next thing we want to stop doing, and this applies to all your emails and in particular your sales emails. Can you guess what that might be? Tick, tick, if you guessed too many links, you're on the right page. but it goes a little bit beyond that. It is when you send an email, you can include, 2 or 3 links in that email as long as they're not going to the same thing. People aren't stupid, right? When you open an email and you see a link, and let's talk about it from a sales email perspective. If you're sending out a sales email, your person doesn't need to see that link 3 times, which is the standard, right? That's what we're all told. Make sure you link to that thing 3 times. But here's the problem with that. When it comes to deliverability, that is not going to work. Your email is going to be marked as spam at best, landing in the promotion tab if it's a Gmail account. So here's how you want to think this through. Whenever you send any email to your audience, run it through your own filter. Is this what I would send to a friend? Would I include all these links? No, you wouldn't. You would just include one link. So just do that. Now, you can use a button, totally fine to do that. So go ahead and remove all of those links, which means that you are not going to include a link in the PS either. You can have a PS, but it does not need to point to the exact same thing. So, number one, you want to check and make sure that you're not including more than 3 links in an email. Number 2, you want to make sure that you're not linking to the same thing twice. And number 3 is making sure that your subject line is not spammy or misleading. So I personally like to make my subject lines all lowercase. So if you are making all of your subject lines uppercase, right? Like each individual word has the first letter is the uppercase, or don't do shouting, which is what all uppercase is. But basically, if you want to ensure that someone even clicks on your email, so let's assume that you've done 1 and 2, right? So it's made it into someone's actual inbox. So you've gone and made sure that it's actually being delivered. If we want someone to actually open our emails, we need to also ensure that it looks like it's come from someone they know, which it should, right? They should know you. And the only way that they're going to know you is if you've been providing value and you're not doing clickbaity stuff in your subject line. So when it comes to your subject lines, the easiest thing that I can tell you to write your subject lines, and actually it's 2 things. 1, all lowercase, and 2, write that subject line after you've written your email. It becomes infinitely easier. Personally, I often just pull something out of the actual email and put quotation marks around it, particularly if it's a quote or a statement or something like that. But that's typically how I write those subject lines. So I'm not worried about hooks and I'm not worried about neuro stuff. I'm just thinking about it from my reader's perspective. What would make them click on this? Curiosity is a really good thing that you can do, but also asking a question. So those are the only 2 things that I really think about when it comes to writing my subject line is how could I make this curious without being clickbaity or spammy? Number 2, you can pull it from your actual email. So that's how I recommend you go through and do that. So those are the 3 things that will help ensure that your emails are delivered and actually delivered, right? Not just you send the email and you know that your email platform has confirmed that it's gone, but that doesn't mean it's being delivered because deliverability is on your shoulders. And you can make sure that your emails are being delivered by following those 3 things. And if you want to learn more about how to actually make daily sales from your emails, the video that is coming up on your screen right now is where you want to go. I will see you in that video.